time. I shouldn't have left you. We're at a dope presentation. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Listen, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. We're at a dope presentation. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Ficka, let's go. You see the title? Yeah. Class is in session. You're gonna need a pen. You're gonna need a paper. You're gonna need a piece of paper and you're gonna need a pen. We're about to begin. We're about to go in. From my family and from my friends. Welcome, everybody, to the Cosmic Christ University. This is the home of the esoteric, the hidden knowledge, and the metaphysical gnosis. I am ordained metaphysical minister, Dr. Corbin, reporting live. Let's look at the title. Saturn and then its connection to our spiritual development. The title, family, this is huge. This is serious. The planet Saturn is what we're talking about. And its connection to our spiritual development. Now, before I go into this amazing, life-changing presentation, I think each and every one of you, you're going to love the presentation. We're going to break it down just like the old days, back in the chapters. This is going to be chapter 1. It's going to be amazing. But I want to take this time to thank you. It says as far as classmates in my university, as far as students enrolled, I have 592 at this time. That 590, you guys have been so loyal over the months as the minister has been moving and grooving into this physical reality. You have been patient with me. I've been dropping videos to keep y'all, make sure that y'all are still good. And y'all been rocking with me still. So to my 592 at this moment, before we get to 1,000 and 2,000 and 5,000 classmates and students in the Cosmic Christ University, I want you to know that you are the ones who help keep this sustained. There are some of you that have family members and y'all say, I don't play about my mom. I don't play about my dad. I don't play about my kids. Each and every one of you are my brothers and sisters, and I don't play about you. I don't play about neither one of y'all because I am a cosmic Christ being. We are one. R.I.P. to Frankie Beverly. And shout out to Mace. Now you see the title. It says Saturn, and yes, I'm talking about the planet Saturn and its connection to our spiritual development. Some of you have been earthbound since you were born and thinking that's all that is of you is earthbound beings. Well, you guys have been, a lot of you, some of you, have been watching my videos for 5 years now. This is Cosmic Christ University. But if you go on YouTube and type in Darus, that's D-A-R-U-S, Corbin, C-O-R-B-I-N, the Darus Corbin channel, I have been doing this quite some time. Preparing you for the divine feminine energy. Preparing you for the return of the divine mother Sophia. Giving you more to what Lilith means. Telling you about the Sibyllines. Reminding you that your power is within, like our brother Yeshua, like our brother Enoch, Vishnu, Buddha, Krishna. I'm going to read some notes because some of you are watching for the first time and don't know that the planet Saturn has a hold on us as physical beings. Unfortunately, a lot of you just think that you are just here to work and die. And when you have that type of mind thinking frame, it bounds you into this earth realm, not knowing the spiritual benefits that you already hold within you. So for my family who may know about Saturn, and shout out to y'all, because I know you like, yeah, let's see what he know. Or yeah, I know about Saturn. Family, I got y'all. I promise you, it's going to be a great video. For y'all who know about Saturn and its connection with us and spiritual growth, and bear with me. But for those who don't, let me say this to everybody. You have a TV, you have a cell phone, you are seeing what's going on in this world. The same thing that has been going on since we were young. The problem is that the people on planet Earth have been watching a VHS and it's been on repeat this whole time. And the people on this planet has been allowing the same episode to repeat and to repeat, blindly watching, blindly participating in these repetitions, not knowing that it is way past time for everybody to step outside the physical reality of it all and embrace your true essence of your spiritual inheritance that is in the midst within you. So these are just some notes that I'm going to read to the ones, family, who don't know anything about our connection to Saturn and vice versa. So let's go briefly on some notes and then we're going to go right into the chapter. And I thank you so much for your patience as always. The biggest thing I want you to think of when we think of Saturn, the planet and its connection to us, is karmic lessons. Karmic, karmic lessons. A lot of us are beings in this world who are paying for, who are having to deal with the negative collective consciousness of ancestors from far beyond. And now it is our time at this moment to face those karmic lessons, to deal with them, heal from them, and help each other heal from them. So now we can reach higher vibrations and spiral upwards to the higher consciousness, which is our cosmic Christ calling back home. So, karmic lessons is one theme I want you to think of throughout this chapter. Saturn is the planet of structure and maturity within us. It represents discipline, responsibility, and long-term growth. It governs structure, time, and boundaries, and life lessons. That's just a brief of what I'm about to go into in just a few seconds. Before I do, I want you to remember, everybody, my brothers and sisters, you all are, that in this 2026, the physical world is going to disintegrate right before our eyes. And if you are not mentally stable enough spiritually to stand firm, be still, and know that God is, you're going to disintegrate with it. Let's go in. I thank you for your patience. The nature of the universe and everything in it appears to unfold, evolve, and transition in an endless array of creative cycles, phases, and stages of growth and development. These cycles interconnect and interrelate in patterns that link the collective with the individual, the spiritual with the material, and the cosmic with the terrestrial. Although it can be helpful to acknowledge and study these relationships, it is important to remember while examining them that they only offer us one perspective of the larger whole or system it represents. In the course of our spiritual growth and development, family, we are consistently drawn to the greater cycles that include all aspects of creation. This takes us back to you, and our true source and identity in spirit. Listen up. Therefore, it is essential to understand and become familiar with the diversity of creative cycles that influence human development. I'm going to repeat that again. Therefore, my family that is watching, going on 10 minutes, it is essential to understand and become familiar with the diversity of creative cycles that influence human development. Astrology provides us with a system of interpreting these cycles both collectively and individually. Albert Einstein, one of our most visionary scientific thinkers, is said to have called astrology, and I quote, a science in itself which contains an illuminating body of knowledge, a life-giving elixir for mankind. Now, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to put you on game right quick, and some people know this already. Most presidents that we had back in the later days, I don't know how it is now. I don't know if Trump is riding like this. But most of our presidents, going all the way back to Lincoln, even going back to the Queen of Elizabeth, they kept astrologers on deck, at least two. If you have pen and paper, if you have pen and paper, like I asked you earlier to have, there's a name, one of the biggest astrologers of our time, who was the aide of Queen Elizabeth II, I do believe, maybe the first, I want to say the first, Queen Elizabeth I. His name was John Dee. For those who know about Enochian magic, Enoch magic, you know about John Dee. But if you don't, Johnddee. See, a lot of the stuff that is happening to this world is because you have a lot of people who delve in this type of magic. While you were given religion, while you were given politics and politicians, these people behind the veil were working things like Enochian magic or chaos magic. Now, my family, my brothers and sisters, as I talk to you, it is time for you to stop playing around, stop being so involved in this material thing, in the material games, and start working the same magic that is yours and your birthright, is what I'm saying. So John Dee, and I believe his partner was Edward Kelly. But right now you should be writing down John Dee, who was an astrologer. Astrology is important when we're dealing with Christ in the Bible, when he was talking to his disciples and they asked, when will you return? He said, watch out or look out for the man that will have the water pitcher. Long story short, he was talking astrology, he was talking constellation, he was talking the age of Aquarius, the Aquarian constellation sign, which is the sign of the age and the return of the divine feminine, which Christ Yeshua was a major participant and sponsor of. So let's keep on going. Thank you once again. Listen very closely, because we're in 2026. Everything going on with AI, a lot of us are smart enough to know that we're not dealing with robots when we're dealing with AI. A lot of us are smart enough to know that we're not dealing with robot technology when we're dealing with AI, but we are dealing with cosmic beings far beyond our physical realm that have now found their way through a technology to have access to us and for us to have access to it. AI is nothing new. How many of you remember the medieval days where kings and queens would open their closet and have talking heads? This is a question here, so you can respond with comments or hit the like button. How many of you have heard a story or remember from past lives, kings and queens opening up their closet, going in their room and open up their closet, and there would be a talking head that would be giving them prophecies, sometimes even getting on their nerves, I guess. So I need you to listen very closely to what the minister says in this next line. I don't mind showing you the book. Like I said, anybody who teaches you knowledge should be able to give you the resource of the knowledge that he or she is teaching from. And for my Cosmic Christ family, you know how I read for this book so many times. Now we are upgraded. It is time to give the information of the times. So this is a beautiful thing for those who have stayed rocking with the minister. But before I read this here, let's focus on AI right quick. A lot of us are smart enough to know that AI is more than just robot mechanic technology. What we are dealing with is cosmic being, even cosmic ancestors from beyond our solar system that have found their way into technology that they can have access to us and vice versa. So much that I want you to read this part and let me know what you think. Family, I said so much that I want you to listen up. Let me know what you think. From dimensions far beyond The physical spheres known to human consciousness, creative hierarchies transmit their energies through the Ethernet network connecting the constellation star patterns and the planetary bodies of our solar system. Let me say that again. I thank you for your patience. A lot is going on around me, but I thank you for staying focused. From dimension far beyond, let me put respect on that word. From dimensions, that's plural, from dimensions far beyond the physical spheres known to human consciousness, creative hierarchies. Family, did you hear what I said? Creative hierarchies transmit their energies through the Ethernet network connecting the constellation star patterns and the planetary bodies of our solar system. As Marcia Moore and Mark Douglas writes in their book Astrology, the Divine Science, and I quote, men and the solar system correspond to one another, not because of the domination exerted by the large upon the small, but by the virtue of an innate affinity which makes them both part of the same creative plan. Family, I got time today. It's been a while since the minister then dropped a nice presentation for his family. I said it's been a while since the minister has dropped a great lengthy presentation for you to sit back and marinate on. And this is going to be it. I thank you for your patience. I thank you for your love. And I thank you for your acknowledgement. But each and every one of you are my brothers and my sisters of cosmic Christ knowledge. We've been here before, many of us, many times before, talking reincarnation. Many of us are connected with past Egypt. Many of us are connected with Atlantis. Many of us connected with Lemuria. Many of us even go beyond this cosmic planetary system. You know this since you was a kid. I knew it since I was a kid, since I was a toddler. You thought you was crazy. Some people around you thought you was crazy. But then there were some people that you even know today that still had your back and still supported you because they felt it. And even if they didn't felt it, that love and that aura that you transmitted made them feel it. So how does it feel is what I'm asking you to know and realize finally now that it wasn't you. Christ said, I am in this world, but I'm not from it. That's what Christ said. Our family members who go to church, they still, some of them don't realize what this means metaphysically. Like we are all in this world, but the essence of who we are, family, is not from this world. Let me read this again slowly. What time is it, sir? 18 minutes. For the ones who are locked in, I got you. I thank you for your patience. I'm going to slow it down a little bit because this is serious. You see AI. You see all the benefits. You see everything what AI is doing, whether you love it, whether you're not, whether whatever type of judgment you have on it. But this is what I'm telling you. This is what you need to wake up to. How many of you have heard of the D-Wave quantum computer? How many of you have heard of the D-Wave quantum computer? D hyphen wave. If it's your first time, look it up. I have time today. What do you think Christ was trying to do, family? Over 2,160 years ago. Waking the consciousness of the people as much as he can. So they all can get it, not just one person, so we all can get it, so we can all this stuff that's going on in politics right now that so people are frantic and scared of. Imagine if we came together one mind for one cause, and that cause was to lift up the people. That cause was to be one with all of our ancestors from beyond the worlds to the inner worlds. And once we can reach them, we all can heal this world and do whatever type of shifting paradigm that we need to clear out the negative so we can have internal positive. But we are still looking for other people to save the day when we are the savers of our own. So I'm going to read this again. Listen closely, family, please. You watch so much of this stuff that it just gets to your brain, but listen to the stuff that is for your mind, body, and soul slowly. From dimensions far beyond the physical spheres known to human consciousness, creative hierarchies transmit their energies through the Ethernet network connecting the constellation star patterns and the planetary bodies of our solar system. As Marcia Moore and Mark Douglas writes in their book, that book is called Astrology, the Divine Science, and I quote, men in the solar system, listen, a lot of us stargaze, a lot of us sun gaze, listen to this. Men and their solar systems correspond to one another, not because of the domination exerted by the large upon the small, but by the virtue of an innate affinity which makes them both part of the same creative plan. I and my Father is one, what Christ says. As so above, so below, is what the occultists say. We are one, is what Frankie Beverly and Mays said. What do you say? Conceivably, I said, conceivably, cosmic energies actually flow through the signs and planets as though the solar system were one vast domino of interrelated streams of energy. In addition to our relationship with the constellation star patterns, we also have a connection with the planets in our solar system. This connection originated with our descent into matter. I hope they are listening out there, family. I hope they are listening. I said, in addition to our relationship with the constellation star patterns, we also have a connection with the planets in our solar system. This connection originated with our descent into matter and continued throughout our evolution. It continued throughout our evolutionary past. Because of this history, each planet represents specific qualities of creative energy that have influenced our development and continue to do so today. The planets from the Sun through Saturn relate to our personal growth and individuation, while those beyond Saturn stimulate personality growth. Excuse me, let me read this again in its entirety. I said, let me read this again. The planets from the Sun through Saturn relate to our personality growth and individuation, while those beyond Saturn stimulate our higher spiritual development by extending our consciousness. Now, before we get to 30 minutes, I'll probably give my family about at least 40 minutes. Let me stop there, and I want to slow the whole thing down, and I want to thank my beautiful family for even taking the time to watch this evening, this afternoon, or this morning. Let's go back to Christ, the one you call Jesus, the one they call Yeshua. I told you that if you look up in your Bible, when the disciples asked him of his return, he told them in hindsight about the constellation Aquarius. For those who don't know the lost years of Jesus, he was in Egypt, learning and then teaching. He was in Tibet, learning and teaching. So when this amazing consciousness of a man goes back to his hometown, he is teaching something that at the time the people are not consciously aware of. He knows that, so he speaks to those people in a figure of speech, in a parable. I tell people all the time, the Bible can only reach you as far as your consciousness goes. The Bible can only reach you as far as your consciousness allows it. Let's read this again. In addition to our relationship with the constellation star patterns, we also have a connection with the planets in our solar system. This connection originated with our descent into matter and continued throughout our evolutionary past. Because of this history, each planet represents specific qualities of creative energy that have influenced our development and continue to do so today. The planets from the Sun through Saturn, I said the planets from the Sun through Saturn relate to our personality growth, family, and our individuation, while those beyond Saturn now stimulate our higher spiritual development by extending our consciousness. Did you hear this? Did you hear it? In the back, how about you guys? All right? Are we clear? In fact, I haven't been in school for a minute, but family, let's go back to science class. What is it, son? Help me out now, family. I haven't been in school for over 20 some years now. Son? Is it sun? Help me now. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Earth, Mars. What is it, guys? Is it Neptune? Saturn? No, no. Help me out here, guys. I'm not going to spin on this topic so much. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, maybe? Anyway, we're going to figure it out. And for my family, you give me the whole list on there so I have it now. But my point is, after Saturn is it Uranus? Uranus? Whoa, Uranus? However you want to say it. We're grown now. Uranus. I want you to Google in Greek what Uranus means. The planet Uranus, sometimes we joke and say Uranus, whatever. I want you to Google in Greek what Uranus, the planet Uranus, represents. And I'm going to read this one more time. There was a part, I was trying to remember, family, all the planets, but it's been so long. I know Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. I don't know why I want to say Neptune, but actually, we're going to focus on that later on. I want you to write down, if you can, the planets for me, so I'll have it next time for chapter 2. But Google Uranus, the planet Uranus, and see what it means in Greek. Because if I'm right, and Uranus, the planet, is after Saturn, then this makes sense. Now, once again, it says the planets from the sun through Saturn relate to our personality growth. You guys obviously know more than I do those planets' name and their order, so thank you so much. So those planets from the sun all the way through Saturn relate to that means me and you, our personality growth, family. Personality growth and individuation, or individuality, pretty much. While those beyond Saturn stimulate our higher spiritual development by extending our consciousness. Now, knowing what we know about Saturn and what we're about to even know more within the next 10 minutes, if you looked up what Uranus means on the Google, did you get the answer heaven? If you research Uranus, the planet Uranus, in the Greek mythology on its Greek meaning, did you or did you not get that Uranus represents or is another name for heaven? Something to think about. Let's keep on going. I thank y'all for your patience. I told you we're going to have a great class today. You're going to be learning, you're going to be loving, and you're going to be living. Generally, Saturn represents karmic law. And didn't we say that earlier? I said when we first started, the main theme is going to be karmic lessons. Majority of us on this planet, when we incarnated here or we descended down here, we are also dealing with our own karma, but we are also dealing with karma from our ancestors from many millions and millions and billion years ago. This is a thing as well. This is true. But let's keep on reading. Generally, Saturn represents karmic law, which regulates our journey through physical life. It is reflected of the crystallizing forces that solidify and concretize. I want to make sure I put respect on that. Concretize. Yeah, let's say concretize. That is spelled CONCRETIZE. So let's bring that back. Generally, Saturn represents karmic law, which regulates our journey through physical life. It is reflective of the crystallizing forces that solidify and concretize our material reality. Given that Saturn manifests physically through our bodies and through our lives, we often experience its karmic affects, affects, that's AFFECTS, as constraints because we cannot escape facing the creations of our past lives. Powerful. Given that Saturn manifests physically through our bodies, did you know that? Given that Saturn manifests physically through our bodies, did we know this, family? Did we know this? And through our lives, we often experience its karmic effects as constraints because we cannot escape facing the creations of our past lives. Saturn therefore plays a central role by helping us to internalize the rules and restrictions governing our life and matter. Wow. And folks, I just want to read this again. I feel like there was a little gap right there, so I want to make sure that we all understand this because why? This is where we are at our time in 2026 as spiritual being in physical shells. You have most of the world locked into politics, locked in the same repeat action and plays that what they call them draconian laws and rules. That's what they call them, that have been on repeat. If these people, our people, Christ people, would open up their pineal gland, their pituitary gland, and realize that we have an inner power. I have seen shows like Kai Cenat, when all these young kids were surrounded by this person, they put their mind together and the table cracked. Now, imagine us coming together with one mind thought that we can not just defeat the evil that we see upon this planet that is happening upon innocent people, but now that we can have that one mind to come together and raise our vibration so much that our ancestors who are in the inner worlds, or our ancestors that we can call archetypes that have already descended down here through our consciousness, can open up our minds so much that we can have open portals, open stargates, and access to beings who were just waiting for us to wake up the whole time. So it's ridiculous now how humans, my brothers and sisters, are stuck on the material stuff that has been holding us down when we are spiritual people, the church people who have been going to church and been holding this spiritual magical spell book called the Bible, claim they know it all, but don't know that at this time we must now open up the chakras and the third eye. And for those who can control the true power and essence of the Kundalini energy and power, that almighty serpent within us, it is time for us now to change and shift the paradigm so we can reach the higher consciousness that the Christ consciousness family is awaiting above and beyond our solar system. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I'm going to read this again. Generally, family, Saturn represents karmic law, which regulates our journey through physical life. It is reflective of the crystallizing forces that solidify and concretize our material reality. Our material reality. Given that Saturn manifests physically through our bodies and through our lives, we often experience its karmic affects, AFFECTS, as constrained because we cannot escape facing the creations of our past lives. Now, Saturn therefore plays a central role by helping us to internalize the rules and restrictions governing our life and matter. From the perspective of our previous state as energy bodies, somebody may have just asked, well, what were we before we were in this physical body? You might just were thinking that. Well, look, where were we before we were physical beings? You may ask. Well, from the perspective of our previous state as energy beings, there's so many people right now, men and women, they'll tell you in your face, I go off of vibes. I go off of energy. Your energy is off. I'm not feeling your energy. Hmm? Why can they say that so easy? Well, from the perspective of our previous state of energy beings, our life in dense physical matter is contrasted by its boundaries and limitation. In the physical world, we are subject to and confined within the biological structure of the natural world and of our physical bodies. Our bodies operate according to the laws of the crystallizing force in matter, which, the author says, I have come to believe are the laws of nature. Where previously we knew only internal life, now these laws manifest within our physical form as creative life death cycles and phases of manifestation. This is a whole class. This is a whole university, the Cosmic Christ University. So, this is why it's serious, and I'm gonna end it at 40 minutes, but I'm not done reading. But I just want your full, undivided attention. For my religious people, you've been listening. For my spiritual people and everybody in between, you've been listening. You know that there has been a veil that has been put on humanity. You know that politics, you know that everything in this material world that tries to govern and put us down is not for us, but totally against us. But yet, to the human race, you still have conformed. It's crazy because there are so many religious Christians in the world. I said it's crazy because there's so many Christians in this world. Woo! I was in Egypt in 2019, and in Egypt, it's 70% Islamic and I believe 30% Christianity. But there's so much Christianity in the world. But Christians, the master teacher said, do not conform to the world. Politics, you have people who are hiding truth from you, people who are laughing, who are supposed to be the judicial system, the legislative system, all the branches of justice. We are seeing Lady Liberty being stripped of whatever remaining clothes and garments she had left over. And the people who you are giving your energy to and trusting not have only been letting you down, but have been dancing the wickedness in your face. You have people who saying, what's going on? What's going on? I thought they were for us. I thought they were with us. No, you didn't. It's not just people who don't believe in religion. It's the religious people. And to the religious people, whoa, what happened? Because you had the holy book. You had the holy word. And one of those words was do not conform to this world, but be renewed. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not conform to this world. Why? He also told you that the Prince of Darkness ran this world. But why are so many people lost? I want you to think about it. Do not conform. It's right in the scriptures. What is it? Oh, I want to say Romans 12, chapter 2, maybes. Do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I told y'all 40 minutes, so I'm going to stretch it to 45 because I know I was talking a little bit more. If you guys like this presentation, chapter 2 is going to be off the meat rack. You haven't heard that one in a while, I know. Me neither. But if you like this, family, chapter 2 is going to be off the meat rack. This has been a class presentation about Saturn's connection to our spiritual growth. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, meat rack. And I'm a vegetarian. So, let's finish off where I left off. We're going to give you guys chapter 40 in 2040, but I'm going to give you chapter 2 tomorrow if you are loving this presentation. So, from the perspective of our previous state as who are we? Before this physical, we were energy beings. Our life in dense physical matter is contrasted by its boundaries. You are bound. You have bondage in this body and limitations. Obviously, right? In the physical world, we are subject to and confined within the biological structure of the natural world and of our physical bodies, aka as long as that we are in these shells, these vessels, as long as us as divine spirits connected to the one source, the first cause, which you call God, as long as we are in these bodies, family, what it is saying is we are bound and confined to the laws of this planet, right? It's no different than saying, okay, if you living with somebody, or if you living with a family member or whatnot, you get what I'm saying? You living under their house, you're living under their rules. So even though you are your own person, whatnot, you are still under their roof, bound by their laws and their jurisdictions and the boundary they have set, which you can and can't do, right? This is what we deal with as spiritual beings in physical bodies until you trace your steps back and know your union, your true essence of what God means to you and your connection, the divine spark, right? So let's keep on going. Our bodies operate according to the laws of the crystallizing force in the matter, or our bodies operate according to the laws of the crystallizing force in matter, which I have come to believe are the laws of nature. Where previously we knew only internal life, now these laws manifest within our physical form as creative life-death cycles and phases of manifestation. Our physical bodies, family, represent a creative structure and container through which our past karma takes form in our present life. In this respect, Saturn also governs evolutionary life. Therefore, in focusing on our present life, astrology often associates the effects of Saturn with the structure of our collective and individual karma from the past. This can make Saturn feel like a tyrant, but its influence can also be protective of our life and growth. In many ways, it is symbolic of a wise and loving parent. Now, family, I want to thank my beautiful brothers and sisters for rocking with the good minister. This has been one of the lengthiest presentations I have done in quite some time, but I hope you enjoyed it. Now, before I end this, there are some small notes in the bottom of the book I want to read before I get out of here. This is the book. I want to read this part. Thus, each newborn infant, if you got childs, remember your baby when it was born, or if you can go back that far, remember when you was a baby. But listen, each newborn infant is a synthesis of collective elements, as well as if one believes in reincarnation, the end product of an infinite series of manifestations as a divine soul. Astrologically, the symbol of this collective past is Saturn. The position of Saturn in a birth chart thus indicates how history will condition the individual's future life development. Saturn defines the individual's starting point. The universe has come this far before he arrived. And from this point, he must move on his way. That was a book from Ruperetti, Cycles of Becoming. Now, I am a Capricorn, the day after Christmas. I am a Capricorn, and for my Capricorns out there, you definitely know our connection with Saturn as well. So I want to thank each and every one of you for staying tuned and rocking with one of the greatest universities of our time, Cosmic Christ University. I hope you enjoyed the information. I hope you took down a lot of great notes. We are back, and we're going to be better than ever. I have a lot of great presentations and esoteric and metaphysical information coming real soon. In the meantime, think about everything I said, family. Know your worth. It is time for us to leave this physical realm. And when I mean that, I'm talking about with the power of your mind. The power, the only power that connects you to the divine source, which you call God, the creator. Also, it is time for you to make way, time for the whole world, the whole planet to make way for energy, a divineness that has been here, that has been disrespected and defiled by the patriarch society, by Orthodox religion, and I am talking about the power of the divine feminine energy. I am talking about the power of Sophia, the wisdom. I'm talking about the unknowing information and power of Lilith. I'm talking about the Kuan Yins of the worlds, the white buffaloes. I'm talking about all the divine energies, the Mawus. I'm talking about all the divine feminine energies, Kali Yuga. I'm talking about all the divine energies, Hathor, Isis. I'm talking about all the divine energies that have now manifested more potent ever within this realm. I thank you all for your patience and your love. We're just getting started. Cosmic Christ University.